If a charge is there around it, its field is there. If magnet is there around it, its field is there. If mass is there around it, its gravitational field is there. Then what is that field? How can you define it? Huh? It is the which space? Region. Achha. Region is not suitable word. You have to tell space. Region has different meaning. Space is three dimensional, right? In which other objects are presence. Not only that, other objects presence, right? It is a space around an object in which another object's presence can be detected. That other object will be, if it is electric charge, electric field, electric charge. If it is magnetic field, magnetic pole. If it is gravitational field, mass. So, there should be two objects. One is the source, other is the test. On test charge, you will feel that yes, there is field. If it is going beyond that, you cannot detect that there is a field. So, that space around the object is called as the field. If the object is charged mass, then it is electric field and gravitational field both. If it is magnet, then again both gravitational as well as magnetic, because magnet must have some mass. There is no magnet without mass. So, therefore, electric field is associated with gravitational field, magnetic field is also all the time associated with the gravitational field. Gravitational field all the time common everywhere, but the value is very small, that is why we can neglect it, but cannot tell that it is not there. In comparison to electric field and magnetic field, its effect is negligible, but not zero, right, because whenever there is mass, there must be a gravitational field. Charge has mass, therefore, gravitational field is there. May it be electron also, it has mass. Similarly, if a magnet you are taking, it has some mass. So, when you are telling magnetic field and electric field, keep in your mind that gravitational field is also associated, right. Gravitational field is must, but the realization of that field is not that much like the electric and magnetic field, because the field is very weak field. In case of gravitational field, it is very weak field in comparison to magnetic and electric, but cannot tell that there is no gravitational field. Simultaneously, both the fields are existing in case of both magnetic field as well as both electric field. When electric, must gravitational, when magnetic, must gravitational. If it is neutral only, it is only gravitational, right. If it is neutral, then only you can tell it is only gravitational, otherwise it is all the time combined with the gravitational pole or field. Electric field is combined with gravitational, magnetic field is also combined with the gravitational field. It is common everywhere, because you cannot neglect mass in case of electric field and magnetic field. Mass is all the time associated, right. So, now you are clear about the field and the process that is called as the differentiation and integration. What does it mean, right? What is differentiation? Although it is a mathematical process, but why it is required in physics? Huh? Not see the smaller part. What you will see? If you break it to a small part, what you will see? What you will see? That is physics. Observing the small part is not the physics. If you have some behavior with some object or system, if you extend it for the smallest part, right, whether that behavior is associated or not, then it can only be achieved by the process that is called as differentiation, right. Any property, behavior, every system must have some property or behavior, may it be thermal, may it be mechanical, may it be electrical, may it be magnetic. Every system have some property or behavior or character, and those characters are originated from the atomic or molecular or ionic level, right. So, if you are observing that there is a body at this temperature, what does it mean? You are not going inside to see what is the atom temperature, molecular temperature, ionic temperature. but ultimately it comes from that level, right. The temperature of the system means they are associated with the temperature of the atom, molecule or ions present in the system. So, how to reach there and see? For that you have to go to that level, from bigger part to smaller part. What is there, whether it is there or not? If you want to know, then you have to go for the process that is called as differentiation, right. Temperature is one example, otherwise every system is all the time associated with some character, that is your physics, right. Physics is nothing but the study of matter energy interaction. Every matter is all the time interacted with energy, so everywhere there is physics. But how to understand that? Looking from the bigger object, origin is at the atomic or molecular level, all the properties, but you are realizing at macro level, bigger level, right. You are realizing that property or behavior not at atomic or molecular level, but at macro level, big objects. But ultimately it comes from the same small atoms and molecules. To understand that, you have to go back from bigger to smaller, and that process is called as the differentiation. Mathematically you are telling differentiation, physically you can tell going from bigger behavior to smaller behavior attached with that smallest object, but the method or procedure is similar. That is the requirement to learn in physics. Otherwise, you can never understand why that behavior is not there at atomic or molecular level, right. So, that is the importance of differentiation, and you know also what is the difference between partial differentiation and complete differentiation, right. Partial, why? Because a quantity sometimes depends on more than one variables, right. Some physical quantities are usually depend on more than one variables, right. Then if you want to differentiate, it means how it changes, that is the rate of change, right. Rate of change with respect to some quantity. Simply rate of change has no meaning. Rate of change with respect to what, right. If you are telling temperature with respect to what, temperature is changing has no meaning. You have to tell with respect to what it is changing, then it has meaning. For example, suppose you see, if you are in this room, this is a reference frame. If you want to measure temperature upward going to space, right, then what will happen there? Upward. Whether the temperature remain constant or it is changing. How it is changing? Change means either increase or decrease. Two things are happening. So, what is happening there? I am telling in daytime when sun is there, increasing. It is obvious because source is there, right. You are at a long distance. So, when you go up with height, it increases, right. As you go up, the temperature continuously increases till the sun. Sun is the highest temperature, and when it comes down, goes on decreasing, finally reaches to us, right. So, if temperature is the variable in terms of which you are measuring or telling the environmental condition usually measured of the system in which you are living, then that variable is changing. So, obviously, there is a rate of change. How it changes? With height, right. How it changes with height? Rate of change of temperature with height is explained by differentiation. That is differentiation. At what rate? Whether the rate of change is fast or slow. At what rate it is changing? No doubt it is increasing, but what is the rate of change? How quickly it changes? Rate of change means rate of increase, whether it is more or less. That you can get it only from differentiation, right. So, rate of change of some physical quantity with respect to the parameter on which it depends, as temperature depends on height here, definitely that quantity depends on some variable, some parameters, right. That is why temperature is defined in terms of distance. Distance is the parameter with respect to us, you are measuring the distance or height. So, when it changes, then obviously you can tell what is the rate of change, right. So, when you are telling rate of change, up to some height it may more, then less, then less, then less, or reverse way, whatever it may be, but there must be a rate of change which varies from point to point when you go up, similarly point to point when you come down, right. So, if you take layers of atmosphere, if you go from one layer to another layer, then obviously the rate of change is changing. If you go up, increasing, if you come down, decreasing, right. But the rate of change is there when you go from one layer of atmosphere to another layer of atmosphere. If you divide the whole atmosphere into many layers, then you see that the layers temperature gradually goes on increasing till you are going to sun. Of course, atmosphere is not there up to sun, till atmosphere is there, it happens, right. And similarly, when you come down from there, it goes on decreasing, right. So, now temperature is vector or scalar. So, the field that you are considering here is scalar or vector field? Scalar field. Now, tell what will be the variation of that scalar field with respect to another quantity, that is height, again scalar, right. Again height, height is a length, that is also scalar. So, what do you mean by then rate of change of temperature with respect to height from us? As you go up, what will happen there? You cannot predict, right. That is the reason why the climate is very difficult to predict, very, very difficult. But still the climatic conditions are predicted, right. Rain is there, there will be no rain, there will be cloud. These are all predictions depending on certain parameters of atmosphere, and temperature is one such parameter. So, when it goes up, then how quickly it changes. So, the rate of change of temperature is more than it is quick, otherwise it is slow. If the rate of change of temperature with height is more, what does it mean? Quickly changes, right. But if it is slow, then the value is less. Rate of change of temperature with respect to height is if less, that means it is slowly decreasing, not fast. But if the rate of change of temperature with respect to height is more, what does it mean? It quickly changes. So, how quickly the change occurs in the scalar field that is defined by temperature? Here scalar field is the temperature, and how quickly that changes with height is the rate of change of temperature with respect to height, right. So, whether it is quickly changing or slowly changing, that one has to know to understand the atmospheric condition. So, it is very difficult to predict, although you know that there is sun, but many other parameters are also controlling the temperature of atmosphere. Other parameters are there, humidity is there, many more factors are also involved. So, only in terms of temperature it is very difficult to predict how that rate of change will go. If you neglect all other parameters, considering only temperature, then it is easy to explain. It is obviously goes on increasing at a higher rate, right. But situation is not that. Many other parameters are also controlling the temperature with height. So, in that case, obviously it is very complicated task. But if you avoid that there is no other parameter other than temperature, then it is easy to explain. And if you think that, then what will happen to the rate of change of temperature with respect to height? No other parameter is influencing the atmospheric condition, only temperature. Then how quickly or how slowly it goes up? dt by dh, that is the rate of change. That is the rate of change with height. But whether it is more or less, that is important. That will tell whether change is quickly occurs or slowly. That will tell how quickly the rate of change occurs. If the rate of change is more, what does it mean? How quickly it occurs. If the rate of change is less, then how slowly it takes place. That matters. You have to know what is the rate of change with height, right? Then for that, what to do? You have to go for such type of process that you call as the differentiation, right? That is differentiation. You have to understand how that process takes place. As a result, the change of temperature occurs with respect to height. Now think, if you go to upper place space, this increases definitely because the source sun is there on the top. As you approach towards sun, the temperature goes on increasing, right? When you come away from the sun, it goes on decreasing. But imagine if you consider a horizontal plane, then what will happen? If you are the reference point, with respect to you, you are moving in horizontal, either this direction, any direction, but it is horizontal. What will happen to that temperature then? Is it same as that of the height? When it is height, it continuously changes, right? But in case of horizontal plane, it never occurs like that. Where the atmosphere is same horizontally, right? If we go any direction, the atmosphere is same in all directions. Then what will happen to the temperature if you are going in any direction horizontally? In any direction. If you are the reference point with respect to you, if you are moving horizontally in any direction, what will happen to that temperature? There is no height at all, but distance is there, right? I can measure the temperature here, there, and so on. So with respect to here, no height, but with respect to distance from the reference point. So as the distance changes, how the temperature changes? How it will change? As the distance from you is changing or increasing, what will happen to the temperature? Is it changing or remain same or changing? How it is changing? Change means two things: increase, decrease. Why? If y decrease y, then increase y. That means change y.
The perpendicular distance, it will be hotter comparatively when we move left or right from the position.
Perpendicular distance means?
When the sun is directly perpendicular to the floor.
Now take one case. When sun is above your head,
Yeah, above your
only above your head, then what will happen when you go away?
temperature will decrease.
Why? Distance from the increasing means slantingly you are telling that distance.
The height component is decreasing, sir. Like this is the shortest distance. This is the shortest distance from sun to horizontal when the perpendicular. But when we move away from that, the distance is increasing. The perpendicular component will be.
So you are telling the intensity, heat intensity, that measures the temperature. Intensity is relevant to temperature, right? Heat energy comes from sun in terms of intensity, right? So what about the intensity? Intensity means amount of heat energy reaching at unit area at unit time perpendicularly again. Otherwise it is not intensity, right? Then what will happen to that intensity? Because intensity is directly proportional to temperature. Intensity is directly proportional to temperature. If intensity is more, temperature is more. If intensity is less, temperature will be less. Then what will happen to the intensity of heat radiation that is coming from sun to horizontal level? Reference is not you. You are measuring distance with respect to you, but the source is sun. Source is the sun, from where heat energy is radiated. It goes equal in all directions, right? It goes equal in all directions. That's why it is radiation. So if you take that horizontal plane what will happen to that heat radiation? And again velocity or speed is same, they goes with the speed of light, right. That radiation also goes with the speed of light, it is an electromagnetic radiation. So, then what happened to that horizontal surface? First thing, whether there is change or not. If not, then what will happen? You can tell change is there, but negligibly small in comparison to this way, right. You cannot tell that there is no change, right, but again difficult to tell whether it will increase or decrease, that depends again other parameters, right. But you can tell there is change, but the rate of change is very small in comparison to height, right. If you go in height this direction, then the rate of change of heat or temperature with respect to height is much more in comparison to the rate of change of temperature with respect to distance. There it is height, here it is distance, right. They are never same, but both are scalar fields, right. Temperature is scalar, hence the field is scalar, and that scalar field is changing with respect to another scalar, either it may be height or it may be distance, right. So, therefore, now the rate of change of a scalar field depends on the direction, right, depends on the direction. If you go in this direction, you can feel it, but if you go in this direction, you may not feel it, right. May be there, but our sense organs are not that much sensitive to detect, yes, there is change, but if you go up, definitely will feel, there is no doubt in it, right. If you go from ground level to a roof, you will feel that, forget about the other heights, but you will never feel that if you are going on a road, plain road, right. So, the rate of change with respect to height of temperature is detectable by us if you go in height in this direction. There is change, some change is there, right, but if you go in this direction, that change you can never detect. Change is there, but that change cannot be detected by our sense organs, right. If you take an instrument that much sensitive, it may tell, yes, there is a change, which is very small, extremely small, but our body, our sense organ cannot detect it, that there is a change in this direction. But same body can detect if you go in height, same sense organ with us will detect how temperature changes with height, because the rate of change is very large in comparison to this direction. So, that rate of change matters here. At what rate that temperature changes with respect to height or distance. Since the rate of change in this direction is more, detectable, the rate of change in this direction is less, not detectable. So, then now similar thing happens for the scalar field, temperature is also a scalar field, right. Temperature is also a scalar field. If you go from one point to another point, the quantity changes, temperature changes, hence it is a field, right. So, when it is a scalar field, then with respect to what it changes? There must be a reference point. With respect to that point, you have to tell in this direction it changes or not, in this direction it changes or not, in this direction it changes or not. In all possible directions, you have to see how the temperature is changing. Then rate of change, and there the differentiation process is required, right. Take a small distance that you call, for example, you are going x direction, take dx. What do you mean by that dx? Infinitesimally small distance that cannot be detected by us, right. That cannot be detected by us. What is dx? But x is measurable, right. X is measurable, but dx is not measurable, because it is infinitesimally small, right. So, when the temperature is varying with respect to distance which is infinitesimally small, then the same process you call as the rate of change of temperature with respect to distance, right. That is the differentiation of temperature with respect to distance. The distance may be height or distance, both are lengths, but the direction matters. If you go from one to another direction, the rate of change is different. So, therefore, differentiation will tell you what behavior is associated in a particular direction, how quickly or how slowly that change occurs. That is the physical significance of differentiation, right. It will tell you how quickly that quantity, physical quantity, is changing with respect to some other parameter. Mathematically, you can tell differentiation of any function with respect to any variable, but in physics you have to define what that function is and with respect to what it is changing, right. If it is mathematics, you can tell df by dx or dy or dz if f is a function of x, y, z, but in physics you cannot tell that it is a function, you have to tell what that function is, like temperature is a function, right. Temperature is a function and it varies with time, distance. So, in mathematics in general you are understanding, in physics you are coming to particular cases under your investigation. Like that, it may be temperature, may be any other scalar quantity. You have to go in that way, and that helps to know what is the rate of change. It occurs quickly or slowly with respect to direction, right. That is the meaning of derivative of a scalar function with respect to a variable or differentiation, right. That is the meaning of differentiation. Then you know also what do you mean by the component of a vector? What do you mean by component of a vector? Suppose there is a vector, let us say r vector, position vector you are telling it is x cap x plus y cap y, then z cap z, right. R is the position vector of a point. So, obviously, you can imagine in your mind where is your origin, but it is a must, right. When you are writing position vector, there must be a reference frame, with respect to that only you are writing it. So, the origin must be in your mind where it is. It is not visible, but it must be there, right. So, then now if this is a position vector of a point with respect to some origin or reference point, right, then let us say for example, I am taking here a surface, right. This is a surface over which the quantity is changing, some quantity, I am not telling temperature, because in physics there are various quantities which changes on surface, right, many quantities. It changes, for example, on the surface a ball is rolling, right, a ball is rolling on the surface of earth. When you go in one direction, whatever you will get in the other direction, it cannot be same, right. If the ball is going in this direction on the ground, same ground, it can never be same when it goes in some other direction, because of various other factors, but the most important factor is the friction. Friction is never same in all directions, it opposes. So, similarly, suppose you will think that a quantity, let us say velocity is changing on the surface, velocity of a system is changing when it moves on the surface, right. But if I will tell velocity, it must be a vector quantity, but if you will tell speed, it is not a vector quantity, right. If I will tell speed, then it has no direction, but if you will tell velocity, it must have direction. Then what to tell, whether it is speed or velocity? A ball is rolling on the ground. What you can tell in the language of physics? A ball is just rolling on the ground. It is not correct as per physics. Then what can you tell in the language of physics? Rolling is literal meaning, right? It rolls on the ground. But when you tell in language of physics, what will you tell? It is moving with a speed, right? You cannot tell it is rolling. You must have to tell it is moving with a speed. So, when it is moving with a speed, there is no question of direction, right. It is going in a particular direction maybe or other direction, but you are telling about the magnitude part, that is the speed, right. It is the speed only. So, if you go from one to another direction, obviously it is changing, right. So, now think what will happen to such a ball when it is moving with a speed on the ground or surface. If you are telling speed, can you write such thing? Velocity, if I write v, yes, definitely, but if I write speed, cannot, right. If you write speed, can you write in the component form? No chance, but if you write velocity, yes, it has component. So, when I am telling speed, then how will you tell what is the rate of change of speed with respect to distance? Not velocity, speed, whether it is changing or not fast. Huh? Integration will tell you what? Integration means from smaller to bigger, but I want to bring you from bigger to smaller, because I am teaching you differentiation, not integration, right. Integration is not started. Differentiation means from big to small, not the vice versa. Then what will you do if you are asked to express the rate of change of speed with respect to distance on this surface? dv means you are telling speed, this one by dr, r means position wherever you may go, but you cannot tell it is x or y or z, right. If I will tell x, cannot, maybe, may not be. If I will tell y, maybe, may not be. If I will tell z, maybe, may not be, but if I will tell r, definitely all the time, right, all the time. So, whenever you are going from one reference point to another point, better to express in terms of r, it tells everything, it includes x, y, z. But if you are telling x only, may be correct, may not be correct. Similarly, y and z, right. So, now think and tell what will happen to the speed of a ball rolling moving with some speed on the ground or surface. How will you get that rate of change of speed in that particular this r distance, what you are telling, because it is a vector, of course, in that direction you are going, but you are measuring not velocity, but only magnitude, right. If you neglect the direction part, from the velocity it is speed, right. Modulus of velocity is what? What do you mean by modulus of velocity? It is speed, right. So, if you are going in this direction, even neglecting the direction, how much magnitude is changing in that direction? It is speed, not velocity, but if you consider the direction, it is velocity. Then how will you express that in terms of that distance r? How will you write that? Think and tell what will happen. dr by dt, t the means you are getting the speed. With respect to time, you can get the speed, and that will tell how it changes, right. And let us come back to the same example that I have explained about temperature, right. Temperature you know already, right. So, for example, let us say here is a point, infinitesimally small, or they are closer to each other, very, very close, and the variation of temperature is extremely small, let that be dt, right. dt means infinitesimally small change of temperature, right. So, when you are telling this dt is the infinitesimal change of temperature with distance, right. So, that distance is again related to what? R, vector, right, but this dt is not a vector, it is scalar, temperature. So, you have to write this dt in terms of r vector, then what to do? Could you follow me or not? You want to write the infinitesimal change of temperature which is scalar, but express it in terms of this vector, Poisson vector. Is it possible or not? If yes, then how? First understand mathematically, then come to physics. Analyze yourself and tell. How can you write that? And when I am telling again, when I am telling that you are going from one point to another point, of course, here the coordinates are well defined in terms of x, y, z. Otherwise, there is no change, right? That infinitesimal change also refers to 2 points. That infinitesimal change also occurs in 2 points. They must have 2 coordinates which are related to x, y and z. Then how to correlate this dt with this Poisson vector? Let us say I will tell you dt is how much? How can you write this dt? Tell me first. If I will tell, let us say for example, del t by del x dx, right? Understand the meaning? Then del t by del y dy, then del t by del z dz. Am I correct or wrong? Mathematically. Of course, same thing is in physically also. It has meaning, right? It has same meaning, because there are 3 variables, 3 parameters x, y, z directions. In what direction, how it changes? So, there is partial differentiation, right? But over the path dr, there is again dx, dy, dz. That is why multiplied by dx, dy, dz with the corresponding differentiations to get the dr, because dt is the change for what? What displacement? This dt is the change corresponding to dr, and that dr involves this dx, dy, dz, right? The dr involves dx, dy, dz, because if you write dr vector, what will you write? Suppose you will write dr vector, then it is x cap dx, y cap dy, then z cap dz or not. So, this dr is involving all 3 components, that is dx, dy, dz. Then now your dt is expressed in terms of partial differentiation, and this partial differentiation also tells the rate of change or not. That also tells the rate of change, but in a specific direction, right? How temperature changes in x direction, y direction and z direction. Same temperature, but how it changes with directions x, y and z, right? Then after that what you will get? If suppose for example, I will get dt, how can you write? You see, this is correct or wrong? Whatever I have written here is correct, agree, right? Whatever I have written for the expression of dt is correct or wrong? It is correct, and that gives never a vector quantity, all the time scalar, right? This expression is scalar only, right? Then can I express this scalar in terms of 2 vectors? From this expression I try to understand, right? Try to understand now. This expression tells it is a scalar quantity, right? But can this scalar quantity be expressed in terms of 2 vectors or not? You will get the same thing in the right hand side. Yes, right? Then what are these 2 vectors? If you can, then what are those 2 vectors? Huh? Huh? Sigma? Dou t by dou x means? Yes, or else you can better tell, I am telling del t by del x, then x cap plus del t by del y, y cap, del t by del z, z cap is a vector now, right? Now it is a vector, clear? Then dot product of another vector x cap x, y cap y, z cap, sorry, dx, dy, dz. Same thing you are getting or not? Check it. You find the dot product, you are getting the same thing. Clear? The same result, whatever is here, you are getting the same thing by dot product. Clear? So now what is this one? It is a vector, definitely, dr vector. So it must be also a vector. Dot product of 2 vectors can only be scalar, and temperature is scalar, right? This temperature dt, whatever you have taken here, is a scalar quantity. So, if this is a vector, then this must be also a vector, and obvious x cap, y cap, z cap are associated, that tells it is a vector, right. Then what this vector is? Now, try to understand what do you mean by that gradient, that is associated with differentiation of a scalar field, clear? That is the differentiation of a scalar field, gradient, that you can represent as del of t. T is scalar, right. The symbol stands for gradient, it is an operation. Simply writing this symbol has no meaning, it is just an operator, but when it operates on function t, temperature, it has meaning, right. When this operator is operating on temperature function, then it has meaning, which is vector. Temperature is scalar, but gradient of temperature is a vector, right. Temperature is a scalar function, but gradient of temperature is a vector function. So, now see what this symbol, what this gradient operator do, right. What this operator is doing? The operator is doing to convert a scalar function to a vector function, transforming a scalar function to a vector function, and that is called as the gradient of the scalar function, right. So, the gradient of a scalar function is definitely a vector quantity, that tells this bracket, right. This bracket is nothing but this quantity. So, it is del t dot d or del r, you can tell, right, del t dot, or you can try dr, you can write dr. So, ultimately what you are telling? Dt, right. So, this is scalar, this is a vector, this is also a vector, but dot product of these two vectors is again scalar. Now, mathematically you are right, it is correct, but comes to physics and explain when T is the temperature and R is the position. What is the meaning of gradient of temperature? This is the gradient, del T, right. Mathematically you may know, but what that tells on physics? It tells in what direction, how it changes. So, how can you just tell me, if I will tell gradient of temperature is a vector quantity, am I correct or wrong? Gradient of temperature is a vector quantity, right. It should be, it is a vector quantity. Then if it is a vector, it has both magnitude and direction. That is very important in physics, right. That is very important in physics. So, you should have to know what is the direction of the gradient of temperature, otherwise it cannot be a vector, right. You should understand both magnitude as well as direction. So, if you are taking temperature function and operating an operator called as the Laplacian operator or grade operator, then you are getting a vector quantity, right. And when vector, it has both magnitude and direction, and both should be clear, what is the magnitude and what is the direction. Otherwise, the physical quantity is undefined, whatever the quantity may be. Here it is temperature, but somewhere else it may be some other quantity, and that quantity is undefined if you are not defining this magnitude and direction. Then what is that gradient of temperature means? What is the physical significance of gradient of temperature function? Now, temperature is a function because it is a field. Then what does it tell physically? What does it mean? Tell me one thing, you are now clear that del T dot, what you tell, that is dr or der, or better you take r, best one is you take it as L, length, because r is the position vector, you may be confusing sometimes, it is there in book also L, right. You do not open the book when I am here, read, do not open the book anybody when I am here, that you can verify in your home or hostel. So, when you are writing the del T dot, this is a vector, that is also a vector, right, and that gives you a quantity that is called as your dt, right. So, what this left hand side means? It is obviously del T dl and cos theta, right. Theta is the angle between these two directions. Then accordingly try to understand what that del T, del T means. Would you follow me what I am telling? Definitely you will get a factor cos theta here, because it is dot product of two vectors. Now, from there try to understand what that del T means. It will be maximum value 1 when theta equal to 0, right. That tells the direction. Try to understand the direction, right. So, this will be maximum when theta is 0, right. What do you mean by theta is 0? If you go in the same direction, as that of this vector, gradient of temperature. Then only it has maximum value. So, you alternatively you can tell it is the direction in which the maximum rate of change occurs, that is the gradient of a scalar function, right. It is the direction in which the maximum rate of change occurs for a scalar function is the gradient of a scalar function, which is vector, right. That is the meaning or physical significance of gradient. So, when grade operator is operating on a scalar function, it will give a vector function, but that vector has direction and it tells everything both, right. It is the direction in which the maximum rate of change occurs. It is only not direction, but also telling the magnitude, and that is called as the gradient of a scalar function. Clear? So, that is the gradient, and similarly you try to get for mathematically you try, physically I will explain. One is divergence, another is curl. It relates to this operator only. When it is divergent, it is del dot, let us say p vector, any vector, it is called as divergence of vector field p, and when I will put a cross mark, then it is curl. So, it is divergence and it is curl. These are the two operations, right. You know the symbols, know the meanings, try to understand what does it mean mathematically, then physically will come, right. So, what is divergence operation, what is curl operation, and what is their physical significance. Now, you understand the physical significance of curl, gradient. Yes, same thing, dr I have written, na? Same thing is length, that is length. You take the direction r, what is the problem? What do you mean by L? L is just representing the length, r is not representing the length. What does r represents? Same length, but symbolically you are confusing. To avoid that, it is written L. R has different meaning, that is why, because symbol plays very important role. Symbol is uniform across the globe, not for you, not for me, right. It is not for you, not for me, it is universally accepted symbols. I cannot write p for velocity, dl is, if you are telling vector, then how you are telling that then there is no direction? You are telling dl vector, but they are associated with x cap, y cap, z cap, otherwise it cannot be dl vector. How it is any direction? It is single direction. Definite value, definite direction, that is why vector. Definite value, definite direction, that is why it is a vector, right. It has definite magnitude and definite direction, that is why it is a vector. So, try to do it for the divergence and curl. Next time we will discuss on that.